I know we can do this together because I know this. There's nothing beyond our capacity.
Wacka Doo Wednesday. Folks, some interesting bombshells are dropping on Washington, D.C., and also dropping everywhere else. We've got some stuff to talk about on this Wednesday. It's wacky, it's hump day, and I hope you are buckled in. Go ahead, get your questions into the comments down below. Man, we'll put them on the screen. I'm going to do my monologue, and then it'll be your turn on the second half of the hour when we do the inner circle. And again, if you want to be here live Monday through Friday, or just have access to watch the videos before YouTube gets it, but at your leisure, all you have to do is go to thepreparedmind.club and sign up for premium channel, $2 a month, or go to subscribestar.com and sign on with the Prepared Mind for $2 a month. Your choice. We like to give options. You want more Prepared Mind or more Prepared Mind? It's all up to you. Anyways, let's get into it. Got to do a little commercial. Got to pimp out. Speaking of pimps, here we go. Oh, by the way, get your cafefe.com. And you can also get a deporable cup. Taking this out in public gets their attention a little bit. Now, speaking of pimps, Hunter Biden's ex-girlfriend testified today. Now, Hunter Biden, are they going to arrest him? Are they going to throw him in jail? Does it make a difference? No. It doesn't make a difference. I doubt he's going to go to jail. He'll probably get time served and for being an embarrassing putz. But there he is. Anyways, his former girlfriend is also a former hooker, and they're calling her a sex worker. Former. I mean, do you put that on your resume? Really? Do you put that on your resume? BJ's for hire. I don't know. Anyways, her name is Zoe Keston. She testified that Hunter allowed dealers direct access to his bank account. Wow. Talk about a responsible individual. But my questions go further. Are hookers sex workers again? Remember during the COVID lockdown, they were saying that strippers are sex workers? I thought if you participated in an activity with a prostitute, you were considered a human trafficker because you're using someone for sex. That's human trafficking. Now it's just sex work again. It's all a bunch of crap, folks. It really is. It really is a bunch of crap. Now, you want to know some more crap? I said that bombs are dropping everywhere. Get this, folks, out in L.A., Jimmy Kimmel Live. Jimmy Kimmel. It should be Leftist Suck Up Live. Guess what happened with them? They had to refilm their show, and you're not going to believe why. Well, the Vice President, Camel Toes Harris, was invited on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Wait. Man, what was that thing about equal access, right? Fairness in politics and airtime. What did they call it? They used to have a name for that. He can't remember. I'm shaking my head because they quit talking about it because the left is now controlling the media so strongly that Trump won't get any airtime. Trump's vice president nominee, if he ever names one, won't get airtime. I guess he has to accept the nomination from the Republican National Committee, and then he can say, and my vice president will be, right? My guess, Oh, yeah, I need to make my prediction. The prepared mind prediction is it'll be Ben Carson. Ben Carson, that's my prediction. He is an astute American, very experienced in a lot of things. Finance, banking. I believe he's a doctor as well. Dr. Ben Carson, if I get that right. Anyways, and if I'm thinking correctly, I think he might have a lot of melanin too. So if you've ever heard him speak articulate, and I won't go down the Obama joke road. Wow. Yeah, equal time rule. Thank you, Mr. Uman. Equal time rule. See, Uman, he's on the ball. That dude knows his stuff. Anyways, Kamala Harris was on Jimmy Kimmel Live, and guess what? Code Pink disrupted the show, and they got assaulted and choked by security. Now, I heard that, folks. I mean, the left is going to eat their own. They're dropping bombs on themselves. Code Pink radicals attacking the show. Isn't the vice president of the United States of America, isn't that person supposed to have secret service detailing with him at all times? It took security from Jimmy Kimmel Live to get in there and stomp on a bunch of Code Pink idiots. The left, folks, they're nutty. They're nutty as a fruitcake. Oh, shoot. Speaking of that, Jolene needs to put the Uman, do you have a picture of that fruitcake, John, serving up the fruitcake, fruit salad picture? If you know how to put it down in the, let's see, settings. No, that ain't it. Present. You can put slides on the present or I don't even know where the heck it is. Anyways, Uman making fun of me. It's pretty good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, if you can put it into the what do we call these things up here? The the overlays. This is an overlay. With the overlay in place, you can't see me. Anyways, yeah, maybe Uman can put that there. Back to Jimmy Kimmel and the fruitcakes and fruit salad tossers. They got assaulted and choked, and then they had to refilm the show. I mean, once you disrupt Kamala Harris, does her word salad get even worse? It's kind of like, I don't know how many of you have baked a cake, but it says mix for 2 minutes. Do not overmix. What happens if you overmix a cake? If you mix for like 2 minutes and 40 seconds, does the cake start to separate the liquids from the how can you overmix? Anyways, what do I know about baking? My name is not John Baker. That would be the guy on chips. All right. Anyways, folks, they're eating their own. They're going nuts. They don't know what to do. What is this? I don't know. Crazy stuff. I don't even know what that is. Something from Christos. And I'll have to check that out. There it is. Have some fruit salad, you fruits. There you go. Thank you, Mr. Uman. Wow. Okay. What a day, folks. What a day. Oh, by the way, let's, while we're just going to bounce all over the place. It is a whacked out Wednesday. Take a wild guess. Hey, guess what? Someone else had a sudden death. Journalist Ben White. I have no idea who he was. He is now dead. Died. Only 52. I think Larry was 52. Larry Allen from the Dallas Cowboys. That's two at 52 in 1 week. I'm getting kind of nervous. Darcy T sent this into me and said, hey, look, what's going on here? It's not that 52 is young. It's the sudden death. Sudden. Just take a wild Yes. I mean, listen. There's suspicious. This is suspicious. Is it a coincidence? Yeah. See, I don't like coincidences. But there's a good chance he could have just died. I mean, yeah, suddenly. All of a sudden. All of a sudden. I mean, unlike Larry Allen, Ben White is not known to be a super athlete. That was not in the story. Okay, now, I make fun of the media a lot because they're a bunch of left-wing losers. But over on Newsmax, host Carl Higbie, who I believe is a former Navy SEAL, gave Congress and Republicans a big smack to the face and said, where the hell are you guys? You got to fight fire with fire. These Marxists are going to keep doing this. Anyways, Carl, he went off on the Republicans who are afraid to take on the Marxist hordes. And they are a bunch of Marxist hordes. And, well, a lot of them are whores, too. Anyways, I'll give you a quick quote. You know, he said a lot more than this, but this is important. He says, I don't care if we stop building bridges and highways and stop funding. You fight fire with fire. Otherwise, these Marxists are going to keep doing this. And red state attorney generals, you guys better start hammering these people. You have the opportunity. Now, he said a lot more, but enough for now on that. This is the fight where we're at, folks, here and now. It starts with politics and talking, free speech, you know, but it ends with blood. They always do. So get into the fight while it's less messy, and then prepare for the real battles that are coming. I'm glad that Carl Higbie went off. But this is what happened afterwards. House Republicans refer Hunter Biden and James Biden for criminal prosecution for lying to Congress. Finally, no more stupid threats. No stupid. You better come here. I'm telling you again. If we have to tell you again, we'll tell you again. And then we'll tell you again. And then we'll tell you. Maybe we'll arrest. No. Right? So they referred him for criminal prosecution for lying to Congress. You know, like Michael Cohen, Trump's former attorney, who was in trouble for perjury, went to jail. Convicted perjurer as an attorney, a liar, convicted liar. Right? Well, that's a start, folks. They lied to Congress. That's perjury. Perjury. Good. Now, the cool part about this is the Department of Justice, at worst, they'll just deny it and ignore it. At best, they'll slow walk it. Take their time and see who wins the election before they do anything. But for you and me, since they're not going to do anything, they look like the criminals they are in the Department of Justice. I said it, the Department of Justice is run by a criminal cartel. And at the top is Merrick Butlick Garland. You bet. You bet he is. He's all of those things. As far as I'm concerned, they're criminal. I mean, how many family members have been arrested in the Biden family and nothing has happened? Nothing at all. I mean, I think I've got it right here. I might be able to find it real quick. How many of the Bidens have been arrested and never, ever prosecuted? This is quite a list I'm scrolling through. Holy crap. Oh, there we are. Joe Biden's daughter arrested twice, no convictions. Joe Biden's brother arrested 3 times, no jail time. Joe Biden's niece arrested 3 times, no consequences. Joe Biden's son arrested once, no convictions. Well, you know. And then if you think there's not a 2-tiered justice system, you need to have your head checked. Right. Now, folks, look, listen, learn. Evil has unmasked itself for you and me. And that's why we share the internet address up here. Share the address. Share the address. because these videos are important. The United Nations, which thinks it is supreme over all nations. Well, it isn't. But the United Nations thinks they are. And under the United Nations is the World Health Organization, right? They think that they're doctors for the world. In fact, I would like everyone to check out the Why Files. Why Files. They did a video, released it yesterday on YouTube, and it was quite entertaining. It had to do with the American Medical Association and how they treat anyone they don't approve of. It's a good one. At the end, of course, he debunks a lot of the myths about the claims of natural medicine versus, Western medicine. But be that as it may, you learn what a bunch of sleazes are part of the doctor system and the American Medical Association. I'll be surprised if that video doesn't get taken down for misinformation and disinformation. Anyways, the World Health Organization has a terrorist named Dr. Tedros. That's right. The World Health Organization has made a declaration. Tedros said, quote, "It's time to be more aggressive in pushing back on anti-vaxxers." Really? It's time to be more aggressive in pushing back on anti-vaxxers. Folks, it's coming out at this in the same week. The last 10 days or 2 weeks even has been jam-packed with media reports from Japan to England and even in the United States, in Congress. They're now talking in Congress, the United States, and I'm banging on the table, talking about the deaths, the illnesses caused by, the crippling effects of the Jim Jones juice. The Y Files. Thank you very much, Uman. I am not associated with the Y Files. He's not associated with me. That's the guy that has Hecklefish on there. Oh, don't be a sheep. Don't be a sheep. Don't be a sheep. It's kind of a conspiracy fish. Anyways, Tedros is a doctor. Remember, folks, we had a split down the middle in the world of medicine. And we discovered that doctors are political, that doctors will sell you out. Some doctors tried, they went to great colleges, medical colleges, UCLA, Stanford, Harvard, Johns Hopkins, right? All of these doctors, they go and they get these fancy degrees and then they work for decades in medicine to learn their business. And then when something comes up and they try and share their opinion, their professional medical opinion based on decades and decades and decades and decades of experience, and then some asswipe of a politician says, no, we're not going to allow that. And then some fact-checking knucklehead who is a college dropout, if they even got that far, is a fact checker who can remove your comments or remove a doctor's comments and thoughts out of the internet. Anyways, it's time to be more aggressive in pushing back on anti-vaxxers, says Dr. Tedros, who is a member of a terrorist organization, allegedly. Now, the way I see this was an invitation to fight. It's time to be more aggressive in pushing all over these people. Because, in mainstream media in England, they're admitting that there are excessive deaths, injuries, medical problems left and right. And a high-ranking minister in Japan apologized publicly and said millions of Japanese are dying. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So I was very happy to hear that the Y Files was exposing doctors and the American Medical Association, which is, by the way, a union that was established to make sure doctors make a lot of money. Wow. Just wow. Now, here's another good one I wanted to talk about. The J6 political prisoner. You've probably seen his face. It's been all over social media, Instagram, Twitter. He mocked Dr. Dipshit Fauci. And his name was Brandon Fellows. He's a young guy. He's pro Make America Great Again. He smoked weed of all things. He broke into Senator Jeff Merkley's office during the January 6th protests, smoked weed in his office. This guy, now, he's kind of crazy. I don't want to be his friend because he's kind of crazy. But he did not let the government get into his head. This guy was something incredible. Now, a lot of people committed suicide because they were arrested. A lot of people became very sick and ill. But this guy said that being locked up, I think, was fun and exciting. He's 29 years old. I think what he was doing, no, he said it was awesome and very fun. What he was letting the federal government know was that they couldn't defeat him. They couldn't beat him. They couldn't hurt him. They couldn't take him down. They couldn't dissuade him from believing what he believes. He showed up in Congress and got a seat right behind Dr. Fauci. Dr. Doom, Dr. Death, Dr. Asswipe, Asshat, Fauci. Yes, I know I'm supposed to be cleaning my language up, but you know. Anyways, he sat right behind him, looking over his shoulder, so you could just see this. And he's boo, boo-hoo-hoo, made boo-hoo faces, and it was hilarious. And Democrats are pissed. They're like, what was he allowed to do in there? Why was he allowed in there? Well, because he's an American. It's a public hearing. There was no insurrection, right? And then he went on X, Twitter. And he wrote, for every Democrat hilariously freaking out that I was sitting so close to mass murderer Fauci, yes, I'm a felon, but only until the Supreme Court dismissed the felony later this month. Look up the opening statements of USA versus Fisher. My supervised release is about to end. This guy, what a crazy knucklehead. But folks, good nonetheless. Talk about taking it to the limit. I don't recommend anybody emulate or copy what this guy has done. But understand, folks, there are people who have had enough. They've had enough. And Mr. Chin Music, guess what? I got your emails. I just haven't had a chance to get to them, man. I've been awake since I got a good night's sleep. Good night's sleep. 0 Dark 30 wasn't so dark today. Got a good night's sleep, but man, did the work got piled on my head. Anyways, there's something bigger, folks. It's bigger than the southern border being open. It's bigger than the next pandemic. It's bigger than potential World War III in Ukraine. New England is bracing for the impact of the venomous Joro spiders that have legs up to 4 inches long, and they can parachute through the air. I just, the fear, folks, you need to be afraid. The spiders are coming. The spiders. That's right. That's right. This time it's not a pandemic or nuclear weapons or an open border with illegals. It is a giant spider. They're coming for us. Shelter in place, because if we can just save one life, it's worth it. Wow. And I think it's supposed to be a poisonous spider too. Deadly. What's next? Aliens from Mars? I don't know. It's all about fear. I didn't expect spiders. And by the way, I don't like spiders either. Spiders are kind of freak me out. Anything with 8 legs 6 legs is bad enough, but 8 legs, that's just over the limit. Over the limit, I tell you. Over the limit. We need to get the government on this. Why can't they do something about it? They should have the military, take on these spiders. Now, I want to end my section with actually we're going to go back to being serious. I know that I'm always big on my jokes, my humor. But in Chicago, folks, this is where we're really at. This should make you think about what is happening in our world. In Chicago, folks, a pregnant woman was in public, and a group of rowdy teens attacked her. She ended up on the ground, and they kicked her in the stomach, and they yelled, "We own the street." And sadly, the woman lost her baby, her unborn baby. We own the street, coming from punks. You see, this is what happens in socialism, in communism, because they want these radicalized youths. I'm sure that they would like to direct them, but imagine the fear and terror that all pregnant women should feel. If you live in a big city, not just Chicago, but all cities. All women are being attacked now, right? In New York City and Philadelphia and other major cities, women are just walking along a sidewalk and they get punched in the head just for being white women. Asians are being attacked for being Asian. Men are being attacked just for being men. Now, I remember years ago when we were discussing concealed weapons permits, and the left used to say, that's the Wild West. You guys are all about the wild. There's lawlessness and Wild West, and that's why that's what guns do. Chicago's like a gun-free zone. It's supposed to be. I think that the Wild West for women, the elderly, for the non-problem causing, just everyday citizen, was far safer for them. At the very least, decency was in place. Now these ruffians, folks, as far as I'm concerned, this is murder. Absolute murder. To say we own the street is ludicrous. Ludicrous. But that's the attitude that Antifa and BLM and other scumbag left-wing losers, they like to have that attitude, that they own something just because they're standing on it or near it. They think they own the street. And so they attack a pregnant woman and they kick the stuffing out of her, kick the baby out of her. I mean, how awful is this? The Wild West was far safer. People need to be carrying guns, because if this is how the Wild West is going to shape up, then it will be, right, a Colt or a Smith or a Wesson that's going to save the day. Right? I don't remember anyone named Glock that was in the Wild West, but there was Smith and Wesson and there was Samuel Colt. Whew, I tell you, what are you going to do? I mean, seriously, do you feel safe when you walk down the street? I'm always wary, of course, but I've yet to have a group of 3 or more teenagers walk by me. I'm waiting for them. I'm only 6'6". I'm only 280 pounds or so. In fact, I might be 275. I've been on a diet lately. I'm just waiting for them to try something, but I haven't seen them. Maybe it's because down in the South, there's a little more respect for people, the sanctity of innocence, decency. But apparently up in Chicago and cities like it, Baltimore, New York City, Boston. You can get clubbed and get the shit beat out of you because you're outnumbered, or because these youths have no respect for anything. Let's do it, folks. Time for the inner circle. What do you want to talk about? Oh, wow. That I tried keeping it light as long as I could. I tried. I tried. All right, Mr. Uman, do we have a lot of people on the board today? Hey, Uman says, guess what story did not show up in the Chicago headline news feed? Could it be the story of the woman who was attacked by a bunch of Utes who caused her to miscarry her baby, screaming and yelling at her and then saying, "We own the street"? Could it have been that one? Uman is doing that. We couldn't have that, could we? Now, what I don't know is, was the action caught on surveillance cameras from some angle in some store? And are the police busy investigating? And will they catch the perpetrators of this heinous crime? I mean, talk about chicken shit, really. Attacking a pregnant woman. You know who else attacked a pregnant woman, Uman? Do you remember who else attacked a pregnant woman? He's giving me the head nod. That's right. St. George Floyd of fentanyl. He attacked a pregnant woman, broke into her house, robbed her, and then wanted to steal her car. And in order to get her to cough the keys up, he pointed a gun at her pregnant stomach. That's right, St. George Floyd of fentanyl. He's a saint now. He died, and the record's been wiped clean. And, you know, you can go sit on a park bench next to a bronze statue of George Floyd, and he can no longer assault people. He can no longer take drugs or sell drugs or pass off counterfeit currency. The statue will not resist arrest because the statue cannot be arrested. It will not commit crimes because it is now St. George Floyd. All righty. Thank you, Mr. Uman, for that. I appreciate that. Oh, you guys are on fire today. Name Redacted checks in, and he says, so get rid of mean tweets and bring in the mean streets. Oh, we've got trouble, folks. The socialism is everywhere. Interesting, down in Mexico, they have elected a socialist president, or whatever they call him down there, El Presidente. Yeah, she's a she. She is woke, extremely woke, posed with the trans flag and the fruit salad flag. Mr. Uman, let's have that fruit salad flag back up. Fruit salad. I know it. I know it. There it is. Fruit salad. That's right. She posed with the fruit salad flag. That is just great. That's how you know when you're truly appreciated, when someone cuts and pastes your head onto something like this. Where'd you get that picture of me? Looks like someone just peed in my Wheaties. All right. Anyways, yeah, they got a socialist president in Mexico. She's going to shut down open pit mining. She's going to probably screw everything up she can. And that's what they're doing in America. Look at the socialist governor of California, a social fascist, by the way. He's opening the border, and thousands of Chinese have poured in the last couple of weeks. That's right. Chinese, not Mexicans, but Chinese have poured across the border. So I guess Mexico is allowing Chinese ships to land, disembark, and then it's right this way, folks, right this way, or dereche el huevo. There, that's some pretty good Spanish. I had to deal with some stucco guys today, and they're Hispanics, and And I kept using bad Spanglish. And they're like, where did you learn your Spanish? Who taught you? And I said, I taught myself. I said, El Diablo Blanco. And they just rolled, man. You couldn't believe it. Funny guys, nice guys. Anyways, yeah, that just dereche, right this way, over the border. I mean, name another one. Governor Inves, in the ass. That guy from Washington State. Everywhere you go, Boston, the mayor of Boston, she's an idiot extraordinaire. She has decided that unless you commit a serious crime, they're not going to prosecute and put anyone in jail. This is not going to end well for them, folks. I thought years ago when I heard about this, well, as long as a criminal steals less than $999 or $950, whatever the freaking number was, $975, we won't prosecute or arrest them. And now they're finding people with $50,000, $75,000, $100,000 and more worth of merchandise stacked in their homes because they don't know what to do with them. I don't know. I thought about, myself just going down to the local Walmart or Best Buy and, why don't I just bring some bolt cutters and cut the locks open on the computer cages? I mean, they can't stop you, right? They won't. Well, wait a minute. Can't steal more than $975. It's ridiculous. That's what they got. I thought that was the end of it. No, it's getting worse. Now they just won't arrest you. They won't prosecute you. There's no jail time. There's no bond, no bail, no need. How would you like to live in Boston? Holy crap. I had I'm going to say a good friend call and ask me about Tennessee, moving to Tennessee. And my answer was, well, I like Tennessee. I would stay away from the big cities like, Louisville, anywhere there's a lot of, Democrat stupidity, which is usually surrounded by low-income stupidity. Stay away from that. But then I said, people in Tennessee, they talk kind of funny. But, once I meet them and talk to them, they're just great people. Once you get past the language barrier and the Hawaiian shirts, they seem to be just fine with me. But yeah, Tennessee, get to the South, folks. Get out of those cities. Danger. Warning, Will Robinson. Danger. All right, Mr. Uman, where would you like to go next? What is the topic? Oh, it's Mikey G. Mikey G says, Russia is reporting. Is this from TASS? Russia has reported that they destroyed a NATO underground bunker complex and hundreds of mercenaries, killers for hire, people working for money to, they're dead. That's all. We've got some interesting stuff happening. Why would NATO have an underground bunker complex? Wait a minute. Mikey, where, man? We need where? I know you can't give away top secret information, but where? In Kiev? In Kharkov? Name the city.
I believe he was referring to somewhere in Ukraine. I don't know what city.
Okay, well, I'm just being a smart ass, man.
Yeah.
That's all. It's amazing how much better I feel when I get some sleep.
Oh yeah, man, you were out of it yesterday.
I was jacked up, man. I was bad. I almost fell asleep at the end of the show. I got done and went and had a quick dinner and just done, cooked. Don't do that to yourselves, folks. In fact, let me finish on this story here, and then he's like Genie, is it out of the bottle, back in the bottle. All right. Let's talk about sleep deprivation if we shall. Okay, Mr. Uman. All right. Okay, you'll remind me. Sleep deprivation and scotch. Okay. He looks like he's sleeping. He's got his head on he's at the desk. And okay, anyways, Russia has had enough crap. Now, America and NATO have had enough crap. They're so tired of getting their butts kicked that they have decided, well, since we can't beat them with troops on the ground, we'll just let Ukraine send some missiles into Russia. Well, I don't know if Russia has destroyed a NATO underground bunker complex, because NATO is not supposed to be in Ukraine. Right? That's part of the problem. That's part of the reason why Russia invaded, was to denazify the Ukraine, because the Nazis of Ukraine, that's correct, the Nazis of Ukraine, and in World War II, the Ukrainians had Nazis as well. The Nazis of Ukraine were killing Russian citizens, ethnic Russians. And NATO was threatening to put in bases. So an underground bunker complex, well, that would take a bunker buster. And I wonder if the Russians have a lot of those. No idea. I know they have hypersonic missiles. Anyways, pardon me. It's crazy, folks. We got some craziness going on over in Ukraine. We got to be careful. We got to keep an eye out. At some point here, if those missiles make it into Russia and start blowing up civilians, there's going to be some craziness. Now, what we got? Oh, shoot, we still got some time. I want to talk about sleep deprivation, and I want to talk about scotch, and decision making, and state of mind, and peace of mind. I operate on very limited sleep on a regular basis, and so I operate in a sleep-deprived environment. On the weekends, I try and catch back up. And then I come at you guys kind of on Sunday nights, scotchified. And I would like to think that I clearly think, even though I'm tired. Maybe not as sharp, maybe not as witty, certainly not as funny as I am when I have a lot of sleep. But are you training for what could be coming? And you don't have to do it every day, but understand your limitations, right? It's a video I had done one time, and it's kind of a dirty, hairy thing. A man has got to know his limitations. How long can you go on no sleep? How long can you go, or how many hours is the minimum number of hours you need to operate and still think clearly, right? It's a question to ask yourself. And it's not a freaking competition. If you need 7 hours and less than that will kill you, 7's your number. If it's 4 hours, but you like to get 7, but 4 hours, have you tested that? And the reason this is important is if you think back to not long ago, I don't have to take you back to 1960s or 1941 during Pearl Harbor. Go back to 2020. When we had all of these ding-dongs, Antifa and BLM, walking through neighborhoods with bullhorns and literal torches, threatening people, attacking people's homes, attacking businesses, burning businesses, looting businesses. If that happens in your town, will you be sleeping, or will you be awake? Will you defend yourself or rely on others, of course, is always a good question. But can you stay up all night long? Can you sleep during the day? Can you get enough sleep so that you think clearly? Of course, you're not going to be as witty, and you certainly won't be as funny, kind of like me, with limited sleep. But are you practiced enough so that you can function with little or no sleep? The other thing is during SHTF, gone Mad Max crazy, stupid, is diet. You have to eat well. The people on the other side, they don't eat well, they don't sleep well, they take drugs, they're ding-dongs, like I said. So what's their thinking like? Right? They're not going to be as strong, as energetic, as clear-headed. They're going to make a lot of stupid decisions. And some of the biggest stupid decisions are violence. You tend to be grouchier when you're not eating well and sleeping well. You tend to be more dangerous that way. So we're all going to be more dangerous. We're all going to be edgier. When things get nasty out, you can expect that. You can expect that. So understanding your limitations. How much sleep do you need? How much food do you need? Can you go without food for a couple of days? Can you stay up all night? Can you sleep during the day? That's a big one, sleeping during the day. I have perfected the ability to fall asleep anytime I want. All right. Anyways, Mikey G, that's a great story. Thank you for the underground bunker complex. I wonder, will the mainstream media in the West, will European news, will American news report that a bunch of mercenaries have been killed? No, folks, there's a lot of people over there fighting for money. Do you think they want to be at the front line? No, they don't. Can you imagine being a mercenary and they're like, okay, we're going to send you to the front. You're going to be like, hey, I volunteered to fight, not be sacrificed. Good golly, what a mess. What a mess. Soldiers of fortune? I think not. Woo! That's it. It's a dicey business, folks. All right, Mr. Ooman, what do we want to do next? It's name redacted. And he says, ever notice the medical industrial complex created by Rockefeller adopted the serpent imagery and the butcher's coat? Was it the butcher's coat or the barber's coat? The barber's coat. I know that barbers used to be the doctors. I don't know if everyone knows that. The red and white striped barber pole used to be a symbol of a barber, and the red is blood because they would bleed you. There was a belief that if you had disease in you, they could bleed it out, a good bleeding, and that would cleanse your system, and then your body would replace that bad blood with good blood. So the barber pole, that was that. That was your early doctors, some of your early probably street doctors. But doctors have never had a good reputation. Ever. Ever. No wonder somebody said, physician, heal thyself. Now, when you come to the end of the 1800s, and then you get into the early 1900s, the medical profession got a facelift. Actually, it got a public relations lift is what it got. Yes, they started the American Medical Association. They did adopt the medical serpent imagery, two snakes wrapped around a pole. What does that have to do with medicine? Right? Anyways, they monopolized medicine. They tried outlawing anyone and anything that they did not approve of. And they continue to try and get rid of vitamins and herbal supplements. They do not like those, the Medical Association. They want pharmaceuticals only. They want to treat the symptoms, not cure the problem. Now, yeah, the butcher's coat or the barber's coat. The lab coat, right? Doctors wear the white coat. Now, if it's anything like a smoker's jacket, you know why people wear the smoker's jacket looking like Hugh Hefner with the pipe? The smoking jacket is to absorb the smell of the smoke so it doesn't get on your clothes. When you're done smoking, you take off your smoking jacket. I like cigars, and so I'm very aware of the smoking jacket. Doctors, when they get done treating a sick patient, the jacket is supposed to, catch most of the germs so that their personal clothes aren't nearly as, I guess, infectious. But yeah, it gives them the air of the professional, because no one wears a white lab coat anywhere except in, well, a laboratory or a doctor's office. Oh, I take that back. As a brewmaster, I also had a white lab coat, and I would appear with it when doing promotional videos and discussions because it lent an air of professionalism. And anyways, yeah, the white coat. Interesting, is it not? It's a gimmick. It's a gimmick, wearing the stethoscope around the neck. A gimmick. It's a gimmick. Yes, they need to check your heartbeat. Yes, they need to listen to your lungs. But it's a gimmick. It really is. I'm pretty sure that when you go and sit in, a nurse comes in, takes your blood pressure and checks you. But the doctor comes in wearing a freaking stethoscope. Because, when they do it, something important. Every time they listen to my lungs, I go, hey, did you hear anything in there? Any bats or mice rustling around in there? What'd you hear? Oh, your lungs are fine, John. Of course they're fine. I said I've got a sore throat. I said my knee hurts, not my lungs. All righty. When you know your doctor on a personal level, you can screw with them a little bit. All right, Mr. Uman, where are we going next? It's Cyber Hana, who says, I'm hearing that a lot of the newcomers from down south are left, but down there it means conservative Christians and potatoes doesn't like that. Oops. A lot of the newcomers from down south are left. Mr. Uman, I would like you to come on the screen, please.
Always come on the wrong side.
Well, I know. I don't. There we go. Okay. So when Cyber Hana says a lot of the newcomers down where I'm at in the south, they're left, meaning left wingers.
They're. I guess in Europe too, like if you're on the left, that's really what we would consider conservative. No, the terminology is backwards. Or is that what's the other one? I'm blanking.
Oops. I'm pretty sure that Cyber Hana is saying that a lot of the newcomers are leftists, Democrats. But down there, it means conservative Christians, and potato doesn't like that. There's a lot of code here. There's a lot of code.
Yeah, well, even if you would consider yourself a Democrat, but you have those kind of values, it kind of conflicts. And that's something that's always confused me about so many different groups.
Yeah.
They have very conservative values, but for some reason, they still align themselves with the Democrats. That's makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't know if those days are around anymore. It used to be a little confusing. Yeah, people down the South used to be Democrat.
Yeah,
it used to be, and now it's conservative. It's Republican. It's right wing. It's patriotic. So it has flipped. It has flipped, and it's amazing. And I think it's flipped since what, the 1960s?
Yeah, I don't really know when that change happened. I didn't pay attention to politics in the 60s.
No, okay. Yeah, but my history thing, the civil rights movement, it was really big in the South. Selma, right, with that whole bit, and then Rosa Parks and the bus, and that was they tried making the South sound more racist than the North, even though the North
just the same,
pretty much the same. In any event, there are newcomers that come down here to the South. I've seen them. They stand out because they drive in their car with the windows up and wearing a mask, or they drive in their convertible cars with the top down wearing a mask.
Seen that.
And their car has a bumper sticker on it that says Biden Harris, and there's bullet holes in it. That's a giveaway.
Well, I think the newcomers she's talking about from the South are the Mexicans and the South Americans.
Ah, they could be. They're, that's over in Texas. I of course am in Florida, and they can't come across the border, so Biden flies them into Florida. The criminality is just crazy. Anyways, there are a lot of newcomers that are here. And in Florida, they're well behaved. They have to be.
Yeah, you don't. If Florida doesn't tolerate the bullshit, then, or excuse me, the bull. Does that mean I have to watch my language too now?
the bollocks, yeah, yeah. Up north, actually, the illegals are committing crimes here, but they're being arrested and either deported or locked up tight. They're not allowed to just go around beating the shit out of people and stealing their money and breaking into their homes. But yeah, even breaking and entering in Boston, I mentioned the mayor earlier, is now not a crime. Can you imagine sitting in your living room, someone breaks in and you call the police show up. Trespassing is not a crime either. Trespassing, breaking and entering, I guess you can have them removed. They can just go right back in because they will not be arrested.
That's crazy.
I can't imagine that.
What could possibly go wrong?
And Potato Joe doesn't like that. There's a lot of people don't care what Potato Joe likes. In fact, there was a great article showed up, and it looked like Florida to me. A guy put a Trump flag on his dock. Well, boat dock on an intercoastal home, and the HOA told him to take it down. So he took his boat. Looked like a really nice 30 to 35 footer. Had 3 engines off the back of it, so that's got to cost some money. He had his boat.
I saw this.
Yeah, his boat. He had the name Trump painted all over it, or wrapped, and then had Trump flags on his boat. I'm pretty sure he basically let him, gave him your number one finger. People have had it. They've had it, and no one gives it.
Very similar to the HOA guy who. They complained about him parking his boat on the side of his house. So he put up a fence and painted a picture of the boat on the fence.
Something about boat owners, man. They just don't give a flying frog's fat butt. Anyways, I don't know. Do we have more questions, or is that the end of it? Because I kind of like ending the show on what happened while we were doing the show in the news. Did something change? Did something come up?
I have not seen anything new pop up.
Okay. A Georgia Court of Appeals has halted all proceedings in the Trump RICO case.
Oh, really?
Yeah, interesting. I don't have details because I'm talking to you guys. Oh, no. Can you believe this? Another fruit salad, fruit tossing, butt dart transgender person has been arrested for fatally shooting its neighbor. Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable.
Yeah, that's something they like to leave out of all the stories too, They kind of bury that in the last paragraph. Oh, by the way, it was a fruit tossing son of a bitch.
They seem to kill the ones they love or live around. Good thing I don't know any. I don't know. Maybe I do and I don't know it.
None that you know of.
I've always wondered why Margaret has such a big Adam's apple. It's funny when I was slow dancing with her at the church dance. It was a funny bulge.
Yeah, and that Frank the plumber guy sure has a nice ass.
I almost lost it, man. I almost lost it.
Almost got you.
Bad. That would have been bad. That would have been bad, ooh, man. Anyways, thank you. Thank you again for the laughs and for coming on the show. Thank you to everybody for coming on the show and sharing the links, everything. Mr. Uman, going to sign off.
Have a good night, folks.
Bye to all. And God bless America. We need all the help we can get with these fruitcakes out here. See you all later. Zero dark tomorrow.